Welcome to the Applied Biosystems Taq Talk video series, where we break down real-time PCR to make it easier for you. If you're looking for maximum qPCR assay flexibility, you can design your own assays using custom sequence detection primers and Applied Biosystems custom TaqMan probes. These probes are labeled with a 5' reporter dye and a 3' quencher molecule, and you can mix and match the reporter and quencher options. For custom TaqMan probes, there are 3 options for the quencher molecule: MGB, QSY, and TAMRA. But which one is the best option for your experiment? Let's talk about it. The first option is the Applied Biosystems TaqMan MGB probe. Here's an example of a target sequence for which I want to design a probe. See, the FAM reporter on the 5' end, and over here on the 3' end, we have 2 subunits. The quencher itself is not fluorescent, so it gives off no background fluorescence. That's a good thing, but there's also a second subunit called an MGB, or minor groove binder. This molecule serves the purpose of increasing the probe melting temperature, which allows us to design shorter and often more specific probes. When we design our probe using the MGB quencher, it will be much shorter than the older TAMRA dye quench probe, which we'll get to in a minute. In fact, it will be less than half the length. The MGB serves as a molecular clamp, holding our probe and template together tighter. As I say, higher specificity often follows. Now, that probably seems counterintuitive, so let me explain. Say I have a target sequence for which I want to design a probe. Now, before I do that, I take the scientifically responsible step of blasting the sequence against all known transcribed sequences for the same organism. The point is to find out if my sequence is unique or not. Unfortunately, what I find is that there is a very similar sequence, perhaps a gene family member with only 2 bases differentiating these 2 sequences. I can go ahead and design a TAMRA dye quench probe, and it'll bind to my target with no problem. But because only 2 out of maybe 35 or so bases are mismatches, the probe will probably bind to that unwanted sequence as well. Not as efficiently, perhaps, but I'm still going to get an erroneous sequence during PCR. If I redesign the probe as an MGB, it's much shorter. As a result, those 2 mismatches are a much higher percentage of the total length. So while the probes still bind perfectly to my target of interest, it has much less affinity for the mismatched sequence. That makes us very happy. The next probe option is the Applied Biosystems TaqMan QSY probe. QSY probes are best suited for multiplex detection of more than 2 targets and pair with proprietary Abbey and June dyes that are optimized for Applied Biosystems instruments. Current users of dark quencher probes, such as black hole quencher or BHQ probes, can also design custom QSY probes without changing their original probe sequence. This is a big time saver. The last options are TAMRA probes, which are among the first TaqMan probes developed that are still widely available. This probe will work, but just note, there are a couple of potential drawbacks to using a TAMRA dye as the quencher. Because of these drawbacks, we recommend using an updated probe design unless you need to maintain consistency in projects using legacy TAMRA probes. No matter what probe you choose, you'll receive the same quality, reproducibility, and gold standard chemistry you have come to expect from Applied Biosystems TaqMan reagents. To learn more about custom TaqMan probes, check out thermofisher.com/custom probes. Thanks for watching. Check out other Applied Biosystems Taq Talk videos on our website, thermofisher.com/taqtalk.